On our morning show from WRCO, it's our time to talk about Riverdale schools this month. And joining us is Jeff Campbell, administrator at Riverdale Schools. He brought along some friends today. Jason Troxel and Kurt Thompson are here. And we'll talk about their roles at Riverdale. Good morning, Jeff. How you doing?
Good morning. Doing really well. Here at the end of May, things are heating up, so buildings are getting a little warm, but the kids are hanging in there, and it's been going to be a good end of the year.
Yeah, it seems like it's gone quickly, doesn't it?
It has. I mean, we started at the beginning of the year. I remember we came in kind of before school with our new administrative team, and we're anxious to get that started. And now we're, closing up another senior group, a nice senior group here that we'll say goodbye to next Saturday.
Yeah, it's always bittersweet, isn't it? Because you've got some good citizens there. You're sending them out into the world, so to speak. But a lot of them you may not see again very often.
Yeah, it's always, you think about it at the year before when they, transition into that, where they kind of have that time where they're the seniors by themselves as juniors, and then you're kind of like, whoa, and now they're here at the end of it. But yeah, every group's a little bit different, and this group's done a really good job. And I think what's nice is I've seen them through all levels. So I started with this group down in the elementary level. You kind of see them from there. You watch them develop through into the high school level, and now to where they are as people today. You got some pretty neat stories that just kind of in the hallways before school today, talking to a couple kids. Remember back in like third, fourth grade, different thing. They're just kind of laughing about it, and just the development, and where they are now. It just makes you so proud, and so proud of what the staff and the district's done when you can kind of see that full development all the way through, and just what kids have accomplished. And then you kind of go back and let your elementary staff know, hey, remember this kid? Here's what they're doing now. And I mean, it just makes them feel pretty good about themselves and that they made a big impact on kids.
Well, you have a night where you give out scholarships coming up.
Yeah, we do. Yep. Our scholarship night always is great. We have, every year we're between $300,000 to $400,000 worth of scholarships that are given out. That will be next Wednesday night. So that's at 6:30 at the junior high school. Mrs. Stacy Troxel, our guidance counselor, really puts together a great program for that night. Todd McKay and her do the kind of the emceeing of the night, and then we have a number of people come in to give out their scholarships. Just a great night. We've had an influx of scholarships this year. Just so fortunate. We had a number of, probably the most we've ever had, new scholarships. Just people willing to give back to the community and to the school district. We have an individual even from down in the Carolinas that's an alumni that's giving away a scholarship for the first time this year. And so I think it's exciting to see that people are wanting to give back. We're having people reach out, how can we give back? But yeah, that scholarship night is just a night, and we do some of our top academic awards that night too. So it's the start of the celebration. It's always nice. You hit it that Wednesday night, you do school awards on Friday, and then on Saturday it's the graduation. So it's really the start of the celebratory period for this senior class.
Some things you'd like to say about the senior class this year?
Yeah, it's a little bit smaller in numbers. One of the smaller senior classes that we've had here in the last couple of years, but definitely a strong group, both academically and participation-wise. And you look at a lot of the senior athletics and that, multiple people in there that will be moving on, 5 to 6 kids and about each, in there in some of our clubs. We've had, our top students this year is Alex Schneider, valedictorian. We've had her on this show a couple times, very involved in the drama and the music, and I'm sure Jason will kind of touch on that too. We have salutatorian Chloe Franklin, and Chloe's been just a positive person all the way through. Unfortunately, her family suffered a devastating fire to their home on Christmas Eve. And so it was neat to see kind of how the kids rallied around her. And through all of that, she's, driving a little bit further to school every day now as a kind of a place where they're staying. And she's kept up with everything, and her bubbly personality is, second to none. You wouldn't think something like that happened to her. She's a go-getter. So it'll be interesting to see what she does in the future and how she succeeds. And then our top GPA person this year in our Excellence Award, which goes to our we do a Law Day system, so our valedictorian are based off that, but our top GPA was Brandon Meese. And Brandon's another kid, I think, that was in here involved with the drama, and another kid, he's on the baseball team finishing up and also in the band, and just another strong kid that is going to go out and give Riverdale a nice reputation out in the real world, looking into the egg industry. So our top three are top-notch kids that I think exemplify what we're looking for in a Riverdale student.
And all of those students that you mentioned are ones that I know we've called in other extracurriculars and other things. They're busy kids. Time management is certainly a key sometimes.
Oh, definitely. And I don't know how they do some of it, anymore. Yeah. I don't know how kids stay up with what they do, and especially these kids. I mean, they're going from this meeting to this meeting or this organization, and then keeping up with a number of AP classes. We're doing our AP testing right now, and they're trying to work around that with activities and games that they have coming up right now. And it's a busy time of the year for these kids, or performances that they're doing. It's I think maybe Sundays might be a day where they get a little bit of chance to breathe, but then a lot of them go and work a job, during that time. So these kids, they're just moving from one thing to another, and it's great to give them that opportunity. But sometimes, hopefully, they just take some time to sit back and enjoy it a little bit more too. But our top kids are always, and that what does with those top kids is it brings others up to that par. They want to do that. They want to be part of things. And I think when these kids leave, you look at their list of accomplishments and the things that they are in, others want to follow them and be part of that too. And we got a good group behind them that's gonna, they're gonna leave, and then we're gonna have kids that are gonna replace them in those roles. But they're, be felt on the younger kids. Definitely, their impact will be.
My next question, have you found any mushrooms this year?
I have not. I have not been out yet. I said, I had a lot going on here right now. I haven't been able to get out and do any of that yet, but I'm hoping soon, maybe tonight, but now the Storms are talking about moving in. I think my schedule's free tonight. So, but after the softball game, maybe they'll pop all over the place there that evening. So,
Mushroom Fest is a big thing in Muscoda, though.
Oh, it sure is. I think in our school gets involved. I said our committee does a wonderful job on their Facebook. You see them throughout the week. They're doing live updates from people that are on the committee about the sponsorships. Without those sponsorships, wouldn't be possible. I know WRCO is one of those main sponsorships. You've had people on the show talking about it too. It brings our community into light, and I was just talking to a couple of our new administrators. I said, "You've never been down for Mushroom Fest?" And they're like, "No." I said, "You wouldn't believe the people that show up. I mean, it is, whether it's rain or shine, it is packed. The Main Street is." And it's nice to see our businesses. Our chamber's done a great job. Just building up our downtown and some of the businesses we have in there. And I think that draws a lot of people down to downtown Muscoda. We got a lot of nice places to eat. And, that week it'll be, the school's involved into the parade. Kids are volunteering all over at different booths and organizations for that, pretty much that Saturday, but they'll help out Friday night too. And then we got the baseball playing and the fire department, and then the fireworks, late at night. So it's going to be a full schedule. And I just think it's nice to see the community come together for a big event like this.
You brought along a couple of friends today as well.
Yeah, sure did. Jason Troxel, he'll be kind of discussing his role in our music. Well, he is our music department, I can say, and especially this year, because he never was kind of leading our elementary department too, because we had a long-term sub position with like 3 different people. So Jason really took on added roles this year to help make sure that was successful and a easy transition. And then he'll just talk about the number of music events. We kind of wanted to get him on, but I wanted to hold off until everything was pretty much finished up. I said he finished up 2 concerts in the last 2 days. He'll discuss that, but that's we wanted to make sure all the summary of all the music events were kind of covered in this today. And then then one of our veteran staff members, Kurt Thompson, will be on, and we'll talk about the athletics and everything that's been going on and kind of his role in the district and what he does. So a lot of 2 great guys here to talk about kind of in the year on.
Well, batting second, Jason Troxel. How are you, Jason?
I'm good, thank you.
Good to have you in here today. Are you a little tired after having a music concert last night?
A little would be a bit of an understatement. Yes, I'm quite tired, but it's also fulfilled.
That's true. You're not done this year, though. You've got a couple of more performances, don't you?
Yeah. We'll march in the parade on Saturday. We will play and sing in the graduation ceremony the following Saturday. The band will play in several of the Memorial Day ceremonies then. And then the final performance is the very last day of school. The junior high choir always sings for the 8th grade recognition. So we don't really get a whole lot of time to rest.
Did you recently have contests that you were involved in?
Yeah, a week ago, May 7th, we went to a large group contest in Boscobel. The sixth grade choir and then both the junior high bands and choir and the high school bands and choirs all performed. They all did really well. The junior high choir got a 2, the junior high band got a 2, the sixth grade choir got a 1 from all 3 judges, the high school choir got a 1 from all 3 judges, and the band in Class A this year, the most difficult class, they ended up with a 2. So I was really proud at how all the students performed that day.
Do you have good numbers for all of those programs?
Pretty good. We're at kind of about 25 to 30 in all the groups. So you'd always love to have more. I mean, there's no such thing as a band that's too big or a choir that's too big, but we do really well. I would say the comments that I get is, for having so few students in the band or the choir, that they always put out a great sound and a good performance. So I'm proud of that fact.
Tell me about your roles at Riverdale then. You're wearing a lot of hats, it sounds like.
Yeah, so I guess my normal job would be 7 to 12 band and choir. I also teach an AP music theory class. But then this year, as Mr. Campbell mentioned, I took on the sixth grade band and choir as well, and then kind of oversaw and helped out the elementary teachers, music teachers that were filling in that position. So it's been a very busy year, but again, it's filled with music, so I'm not going to complain.
All different levels too, and you see the most progress, I think, in those sixth grade students or those beginning students, because first of the year, it's hard to distinguish Mary Had a Little Lamb. By the end of the year, they kind of can get a melody going, right?
Yeah, that happens a lot, but it's funny. No matter whether it's sixth grade or junior high school, one of the most fun things for me is just to see the progress that they make. From the beginning of the year, it takes a little while to kind of get the dust off from the summer of maybe not singing or not playing. But then, the entire year is kind of ramped up to going to contest and having those final concerts, and the growth through the hard work that the students do is always great. And then in high school, when you get to see someone come as a freshman, and they might be a little scared or tentative because now they're with all the older students. And then when they are leaving as seniors, again, those 4 years, what you can see them achieve is really exciting.
So you're an alumnus of Riverdale.
I am a 1994 graduate, yes.
And who influenced you, or maybe you had this light bulb, you wanted to be a music teacher someday?
Well, Chris Simonson was really the main aspect of the beginning. I mean, for me, by the time I was in junior high, I knew I wanted to be a music teacher. So that's kind of been a gift in that I never had to go through that difficult period of figuring out what I'm going to do with my life, because I just knew I was hooked. But yeah, Chris Simonson would be the biggest factor in that, yes.
So it's kind of a dream come true then to come back and work in your home area.
Absolutely. Yeah, it really is. When I first came back for 2014-15 year, it was a little strange walking back and seeing some of the teachers that were my teachers, and but it's been fantastic. It really has been fun.
Here's a burning question, though. How come there aren't more getting into music education? Because I know there's a little shortage in that area.
There is a shortage. Well, you could say one thing is that overall in the last 10 years, there are fewer music positions because of cuts to programs, and even with those cuts. So it just basically means that if I'm looking and it looks like the numbers of jobs are going down, you have less people going into it. Now I think they see that, okay, there are all these positions open. It's a more viable path again. So I think the numbers are recovering, and I'm hopefully, they kind of even out again. But there definitely has been some kind of push and pull in the last 10 years with music positions specifically.
The thing at Riverdale, and all schools your size too, you've got students that maybe only are out for band, but you also have somebody that might be on Kurt's baseball team or whatever. I mean, it's a real group of kids that are involved in a lot of things.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things because yes, you'll get the kids that are in sports and that are in every other thing. And, all the advisors and coaches are all kind of fighting for the same kids. But then we also get the students that are maybe not in much of anything else, and music is their place. It's their home in school. I can think of many over the years that, they may struggle on this or struggle with that, but when they come into my room, they just feel comfortable to be who they are, and they can express themselves on their instruments through singing and all that stuff, and they're just kind of a different person sometimes when they're in that group of people.
The band room's kind of the safe zone sometimes, isn't it?
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
And I build such a strong relationship with the students because I think any teacher, the stronger your relationships are, the better. But in music, they really have to trust me that I've only got their, best wishes in mind, and that if they make a mistake, they're not going to get shamed. So it's a lot of setting up an environment of trust that they can put themselves out there and they're not going to get punished for it.
What about summer? Are you working on getting summer lessons scheduled and those kind of things?
Yep. We'll do 3 weeks of lessons in June, beginners and returning players, both instrumental and vocal. And then in August, the marching band will get going again because we have the Autumn Fest in Blue River at the end of August. And then I haven't looked ahead, but I don't know if we have a football game before school this year or just it's either right before or it's usually right when school begins. So we get the band together and start working on our music to play in the stands at the football games. So we get a little bit of time off and then we just get fired up again and do it all over.
What's your favorite pep band piece? Is there a number that's number one?
Ooh, wow. I'm going to go Carry On My Wayward Son by Kansas.
There you go.
And then we just added that one this year new, and the kids love it and I love it. So, yeah, that one's really fun to play.
Good call.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's from the Kurt Thompson era, I think, by the way.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is, yeah.
Well, good to have you on, Jason.
Thank you very much for having me.
You bet. Kurt Thompson here as well. Kurt, you've had a number of guys like Jason come through that here you were teaching them, and all of a sudden you're a coworker. How does that feel?
It's fun. It's nice to see. It's kind of it's a great experience to see everyone come back around because Riverdale's been really nice to me. It's been a great place, and I can look back. Jason was a punter on the team, and so one of the most amazing punters of all times. And then sitting to my left is Mr. Campbell, who coached in football and baseball back in the day. And just a story on the side, I don't know if he remembers, but at awards night, his senior year, he got injured during the season. That was one of our best teams of all times. Got on a bootleg call he made foolishly at Ira Grant. And on that stage that day, I had a feeling that our paths would cross again, and they did. It's been really great.
Wow. Did you think that would happen, Jeff?
I didn't know. No, not at that time. You're not thinking that way as a
yeah, but it was an interesting experience. So yeah.
Yeah.
So it was really good.
Yeah. You probably have those students that you think along the line that they didn't make a good teacher someday.
Oh yeah, there's been so many kids in the past. You develop a relationship, like Jason was saying, in the music department. When you're coaching or in the classroom, you develop these relationships that stick with you for a long time, and you might forget for a little bit, and you see them, it's like jeepers, and then it's. I think that's what I get most out of the whole educational process is the relationships you develop with people and that connection that you make with them, and you're wanting to do the best for them. In the classroom, it's nice to you're trying to educate them on history or whatever. But you're also trying to educate them, in my opinion, on how to be a good person, a friend, a person that you can trust and enjoy what you do and have confidence in yourself. Yeah.
I remember all the years ago when I was at a football game and they said, go ask Kurt Thompson for the lineup. You were coaching. You started with Julie Ward, didn't you?
Yeah, I started with Julie Ward way back in 1989.
Yeah.
started here. Holy cow! And then he was here. Mr. Pachada was here, and that's when I started. In football, I was JV, and then did basketball, baseball, and just continued on.
Yeah, you were the old school 3-sport coach there for a while.
Yeah, I did head coach in all 3 sports for a number of years. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Janine might not have thought it was that fun, but but I did.
Well, of course, graduating from Weston as well, was there ever any thought that you'd go back to the home school district?
Well, in the early day, people were talking, hey, go back here and that. But when you get here, you develop this connection. It just becomes part of your life. I mean, and it's just something that, and like I said, Riverdale's been really good to me and our family. The thing I like most about it is how the staff and administration is always behind you. Like our board and so on, they support the staff and they support the people, and it's just been a real enjoyable experience. I don't really consider, like, I think Jason would say the same, when you come to school, it's really not a job, in my opinion. It's more of like, it's fun. When it becomes like a job, like if you're getting up and saying, geez, I got to go to work, then that's when you got to start thinking maybe you should look at something else. But to me, it's just a fun experience. Yeah, there's ups and downs and all that, but you got to come with like enthusiasm, and the kids enjoy it. You just have this experience, and I just like it. I mean, I don't know, if you don't like it, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Shouldn't be doing it, right? Or find something else.
Yeah, but
else.
It's really not a job to me.
Right.
So.
And of course, we don't talk a lot. We always talk about sports.
Yeah.
But history is a big love for yours.
Yeah, I've always liked. I can tell you my history teachers, for some reason, I just liked history. My mom was a big history person too, and I just always loved it. Like Jason was saying, he knew early on what he wanted to do. I can still remember sitting in U.S. history class, and I was just thinking, I'm just going to be a history teacher and a coach. I got my summers. I'll be all set to go. And that's what I'm going to do. And that's just always what I thought I'd do, and it worked out good.
Who was your history teacher?
Mr. Lash. Oh. I don't know. It's I can still see him as 1970s. Remember when he had the disco look, the suit, the big bright ties and stuff? That's what he had every day. But yeah, it was fun. So yeah, it worked out good.
What part of history is your favorite to teach?
I like the probably the current America, like from about Civil War time through the 1930s, World War II. We just had, we were talking about some way up in each year we have a 1920s party in our room. And this year we had the 20s party. So the kids get a character. You got to be a 1920s character. Like you got your Babe Ruth and all that stuff. So they got, then they have to have 20s slang. So I give them 20s slang. They have to stay in character, listen to 20s music, and talk 20s slang, and then explain who they are to the kids in the room. And then I have music in the background. And then popsicles are developing their 20s, so I give them a popsicle. We used to do hot dogs and sliced bread, but kids don't eat as many hot dogs anymore. But they do that for 20, and then they can break it down. But they have a lot of fun with that.
What a great way to learn.
Yeah, it was fun. They enjoy that a lot, so...
What's some 20 slang, by the way?
The bee's knees. Oh, it's kind of cool thing like that. So, yeah.
23 skidoo, I think.
Yeah, that's there. Greaser, all that stuff. But, yeah, we did that. And then, like, in our government class, just to throw it out there, we did one of their highlights is doing a mock trial. We do a mini mock trial. And it gets intense. You think that, they're just going to, but they really go for it. So they have a jury and all that, and they really enjoy that. Tanner Williamson, who's a former student and teacher now, his class is still debating the jury decision and that from back in 2014 in their trial. So I still have them talk about that, so it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Have you had any recent field trips?
Yeah, we did in government class each year. Grant County has Grant County Government Days. So we go down to Lancaster. You can only take about 9-10 students. And so we went down there. They really enjoy it. You go to the courthouse. You get to see a couple of trials that are going on, so you learn about that. We also go over to the jail area there. They don't take you to jail, into jail, but they just show you all that stuff. And it's a really great day. The Legion puts it on. They do them, and you get lunch and all that. Kids really love that. And Wisconsin history, we did a little Ken Thied, the legend, comes down. He does about once every 2 weeks. He comes in. The kids like, you got to have Mr. Thied back. And he comes in there and he gives the history of the area. You ask it, he's got the history of everything and how the area developed and the Muscoda history and Blue River and Volca, and he goes through all that. But we did the historical mile markers. I took the kids on a walk there.
Yeah.
We did 2 of those, and we went out to Franks Hill one morning for a walk through the effigy mounds up there. So that's a lot of fun. So, yeah, it's good.
When you and I grew up, I know I love to hear stories, and tell, your grandparents and your parents tell stories about living through the Depression and World War II.
Yeah.
Are kids still, do they still appreciate those stories or not?
I think so. I think it's I think with your cell phones and all that, you get all the visual things. But I think, like, I know when Mr. Thied's in there, they really like to hear their story. And sometimes I'll break into an old story and hopefully they're listening. But I think they do like it. I think, obviously, there's some that might not. But I think if you can set it up correctly and, keep it going, they'll listen to it. I think there's a lot of kids that love the history. There's some students that in class will ask question after question after question. So I think I know what you're saying, but I think there's still that group that's like, give me a good story and we'll sit down. I listened to your broadcast. I think it was yesterday, right? Weren't you talking about the stories?
Yes.
Yeah.
From Tipisaki Farm.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah.
Uh-huh. It was. That's great history.
Yes, it is.
That's right in Riverdale School District.
Right,
area,
exactly.
Too. Right. I think there was a resurgence, too, with World War II history because there's been, like, Band of Brothers and some of those shows that, people can stream.
Oh, for sure, yeah. That's a great way to get their attention on those types of programs that'll draw them into that period of time, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're having some fun talking about Riverdale schools and all the great things there. Kurt Thompson, Jason Troxel, Jeff Campbell in the studio. We'll have more coming up. All things Riverdale today on the morning show visit from WRCO, our monthly visit from Jeff Campbell. Jeff, it's getting right down there to the last hurrah there. Do people have to have tickets, or do you have assigned seats for graduation, or how does that work?
We don't. We got a beautiful facility. We bring out the extra seating that we have against our wall in our elementary school gymnasium, and we have plenty of room. It fills up, but yeah, plenty of room. We don't restrict it. I know COVID time we had to, but thank goodness we're out of that now, and we can just let anybody and everybody that wants to come on in to enjoy that special day. This year it's on Saturday at 1:00. We're making a little change to a Friday night event next year, but this year we're leaving it at 1:00 in the Res Commons. So yeah, it'd be a nice day. Hopefully the weather holds up, but either way we've got receiving lines inside if it's a rough day outside, and it's just been comfortable. AC will be working fine, so it'll be nice and cool in there, and should be a great event.
Then a few graduation parties after that. So
yeah, just a couple totaling them up here the other day. I said it's going to be a busy couple days, but once again, just a great weekend to just kind of celebrate all the accomplishments of these kids and these young kids going on. It's an exciting time, but a nervous time for a lot of these seniors too. They want to be done, but they don't. But they'll get out and they're going to do great things.
Most definitely. Recently, I was at your foundation event, and I know you spoke beforehand. One of the things you said, it kind of struck me beforehand. You were talking about teachers teaching right to the end and not saying, we only have this many days of school left, because I think the kids pick up on that if you're counting the days, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I think it's always difficult here at the end, especially when the weather gets nice and kids see the end of the road. And one thing we've talked about a lot, it kind of builds, and these guys talked about too, is that word relationships comes up a lot. And it's kind of like a theme that we've just really grabbed a hold of. And I think with all the new administration this year, we went in with a relationship theme, like a heavy relationship focus this year, just because everybody was kind of new in those roles, and we wanted them to get to know the staff, get to know the students. And so that's one thing, is that at the end of the year, a lot of these kids you think are like, oh yeah, school's out, but really a lot of them deep down inside, that routine's gone, and they really like that routine. They know they're going to have this every day or a meal every day, and this is how things are going to go. And a lot of times kids get a little anxious at the end of the year because of that. So as a staff, we just kind of wanted to just talk about, don't be the excitement to the end. I know you're excited because the year's going to finish, but understand that some of these kids may not have that same excitement that the year's going to be in, and because they enjoy what they have right now so much. And, that routine is important. We'll start up summer school pretty much right away after that, which will help some of them. But we're seeing that more and more, and you'll see some behaviors kind of act up here towards the end just because of that anxiousness of having to leave that routine of school every day.
Do you have any retirements from the district this year?
We do, yeah. We have 6 people that have put a lot of time in. We have 2 9-year people, Tim Anderson, a bus driver, and Lynn Whedon, who works in our kitchen, done a nice job, both of them in their roles. And then John Nanke, 24 years, bus driver for the district. He'll be moving on. Just been great. His wife, Jan, was a kindergarten teacher, actually my kindergarten teacher back in the day, and she put in, I don't know the exact number of years, but probably close to 30 or more, for the district. So a family that's been embedded in our district for a long time. Verlin Anderson, he worked as a bus driver and custodian. He is retiring here. He actually kind of is done already, but we'll recognize him at the graduation ceremony. And then we had Pat Clarkin, 40 and a half years, our transportation department, just a wealth of knowledge. It'll be good. He's just going to be down the road. He'll still be helping us out. And then his wife, Mary Clark, 38 years in the kitchen. So the Clark family, they put an end to this year when they both leave. It's going to be, that's a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of time into the district. And you're just very appreciative of what they did and their family. Their kids all went through Riverdale. Just people that, got to Riverdale, which we see a lot of people do this. And then, like Kurt too, probably mid-30s, 35, 36 years, they stabilize themselves here and feel comfortable here. So in the end, it, makes you feel good that that relationship piece is there, and we can continue to focus on that. But we'll recognize them at our graduation ceremony during the ceremony and give a short write-up on them, and then recognize them with a plaque for their years of service to the school district.
I'm sure you're hard at work finding replacements and looking at the next year as well, aren't you?
Definitely, yeah. We're looking ahead. We talked as our admin team the other day, and, I've been kind of on the next year, probably ever since the referendum passed, it's been the focus on the following year, since April, where we kind of knew where our numbers were going to be. So, yeah, we've been really working on that. We have filled, knock on wood, all of our positions teaching positions that we have open. We have 1 cook position, still looking at a bus driver position. But as far as teaching goes, we're going to welcome in a couple new staff next year. We're really excited about it. One area that we're kind of focusing on next year is in our early development area in our 4K. We're going to add a section there to move through. We've got a great individual that the board just approved the other night from the Ithaca School District that's going to be coming in. We have another teacher from the Ithaca School District that's going to be working as a spec ed teacher for us. And then we have an individual that did a long-term for us this year, a graduate, Jordan Cradwell. She's going to be working in our 4-5 department. And then we'll have Micah Thingvold, who's also a graduate coming from the Wanakee School District to work for us as a junior high position. So those are 4 positions next year that we have filled with very quality candidates, and we're excited about the pool we had. I think you talked to Jason about the music position in the elementary, and we filled that a couple months ago with an individual coming kind of from the West Bend area. She's going to come up here, and we're getting her settled in, into housing and things like that. But she's anxious to get started this summer with a number of things. So I think we're seeing the role of the teaching positions. You're starting to see a bigger crop of candidates, which is great to see. And I think that the state's talked about the numbers increasing, and we just when you interview, it's tough decisions to make because you are turning down some wonderful people, but hopefully, they get an opportunity in another place. We've got some great districts here with what like Richland Center's doing, River Valley, Ithaca, Weston, and Boscoville in this area, that it's second to none to come down here. And, if you want to be in a rural area and have some high quality education, this is the place to be in this area.
Yes, it is. Jason, now let's talk a little bit about some things that you're doing, getting ready for next year. Are you doing anything like preschool things going on here? Not preschool, but before school things.
Yeah, like I said, in August we'll get the marching band going again, and we'll get the pep band ready for the football season. But then, once the year starts, we've got a lot more things other than just our, concerts and that sort of thing. One of the great things that the kids can do is that we go to things like honors bands and honors choirs. So especially when we were talking about the numbers before, to be able to go and sing in a choir of 80 to 100 students versus the 25, it really is a different experience. And the students that attend those always really have a great time. There's a Dorian Vocal Music Festival at Luther College that I always take students to, and that's a choir of about 1,000. So that is kind of a singular experience that you can't really get anywhere. That's an overnight trip. We host solo ensemble every year. Again, another performance opportunity for the students. There's a Tri-State Band festival at UW-Platteville that we go to every year. So there's just a lot of things that we offer. Then we also have some before school ensembles. Thursday mornings from 7 to 7:40 we have our handbell choir, and then Friday mornings from 7 to 7:40 we have our jazz band. So when Mr. Campbell was talking about some of these kids being in so many different things, I mean, there are plenty of students that are in band and choir and jazz band and the bell choir. Then you get to the winter season, and then you add all the pep bands at night because we play at almost all the home basketball games. Some of these students are really dedicating a ton of time to the music department, and then again, being in drama and various sports. So, again, what they're able to kind of do and how they figure out to fit all that in is really pretty amazing sometimes.
You incorporate alumni sometimes with the pep bands, don't you?
We do, yes. We always have a alumni night, usually kind of the last home game before Christmas break. We try to get as many people back, and sometimes it's people from my era, sometimes it's a recent graduate, and a lot of times it's people from all different ranges of graduation times, and they kind of dust off an instrument and bring it in, and it's always a really good time.
I'm guessing their lip is tired, though. Like if it was me, I probably only last for one song,
Yeah, some of them do have that issue a little bit. They may have played, for example, a first trumpet when they were in high school, but now they're just give me the second or the third part. It's not so high, and So there's a little bit of that. For the most part, it's a little bit like riding a bike. You always remember. It always comes back quickly.
Sure. What instrument did you play in high school, by the way?
I played percussion and French horn and trombone.
Okay.
All in high school. I started on percussion. Junior high added trombone, added French horn as well in high school. So percussion and French horn were probably the two most common, and then some trombone, solo ensemble things.
French horn, is that one of the toughest instruments to play?
It is a difficult one. The students always ask me what's the most difficult instrument, and my answer is always, well, they're all kind of different in different ways. Woodwind instruments, you just have 10,000 buttons you got to keep track of. Brass instruments, it's all about the lips and being able to hear the different pitches. And percussion, can you keep a beat? Can you hold on to sticks and not drop them? It's all that sort of stuff. But they're all different, in their own ways.
I'm guessing oboe is hard too, right?
Yes. Oboe, yes, is quite difficult, and it takes a while to be able to sound good on an oboe. Mm-hmm. You'd like to have one oboe? I was going to say another part of the sentence, but that's about it. Two oboes is a frightening thing sometimes.
Oh, that's awesome. That's why I stuck with the trumpet. I could fake.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Kurt, we've spent a lot of time. We haven't even talked about sports yet. So
Yeah.
How's things going as far as, you haven't had a lot of cancellations this year, have you?
Not really. No, we had one softball the other night, but that's how it goes. But yeah, the sport's been going really well this spring for going that direction. We got the baseball's been moving along pretty good. Softball, they had their seeding meeting last night, and we're hosting first round of regionals against basketball. So that's coming up next week. And you have the track team has had a really nice season, and they're off to basketball on Friday night for the big invite there. Then we go back to basketball for conference on Monday. So spring sports goes really fast.
It does.
Yeah, it's a fast season.
Seems like we just got started.
No kidding.
Right. And when is the seating meeting for baseball?
Baseball seating meeting's next Wednesday. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. That's down in New Glarus. Yep.
Okay. You still have a lot of games to play with the baseball team.
We have a lot of games left. I'm trying to think here. We're at 17. We got 9 to go. So we got 9 to go in like 12, 13 days. But when you get to this time of the year, you want to play games. Practice you got to practice, obviously, but kids like to play, and it's nice. If the weather's nice, it's warmer, better time to play the games right now.
You have a young team this year, too, don't you?
Yeah, we do. We have a younger team, but they're learning, and we're doing okay. We had a little stumble here recently, but we'll get back up and head in the right direction.
Yeah, well, I know you will. Your teams always do. And the goal is, and I always say, they remember what you did in the postseason sometimes more than the regular season.
Oh, for sure. I mean, people don't remember how how that regular season went. It's all about tournament time usually. So we'll see how that goes.
And athletic programs for the future, everything looking pretty good?
Yeah, everything's great. We have a lot of great coaches. I could go through the whole list of it, but we have a lot of great people here. We're really fortunate. The programs run smoothly. It's fun to do as athletic director because we have a lot of people that are easy to work with, and it goes really well. That's where I want to throw a little shout out to just a few people, because people are like, oh, you're the AD and all that. And it's like, well, yeah, that's what the title says. But there's people that do the work. And so just real quickly to Becky Meese, Sherry Troxel, Mindy Cradwell, and Leah Babel, who do all the behind-the-scenes work and get everything ready for us. And that's a huge help. Because when I go to some meetings, people are, oh, this, and this, but we're really fortunate that we have and it goes through the whole school, this teamwork, where everybody just does their role and helps everybody out, and it goes really smoothly.
Makes you look good then, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the point I'm trying to stress, is that they do the hard stuff. They're like presenting things, so it goes really well.
What about conferences? Any talk lately about, is football changing anything, or what's up with that?
The conferences, there's been a lot of talk, but not so much action. I think you're going to see in football it pretty much stay the same for at least for a couple more years. I know there's been pushes here and there with, the SWC and all that, but I'll just leave it as we'll probably stay the same for a little bit. But you never know. It could always change. But I think the talk is going to take a lot of work to make the big changes that people want to see. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to add today, Kurt?
I don't think so. I think we're good. I mean, I just want to stress how nice it is to be at Riverdale and to work with the people there. It's a lot of fun. We enjoy it, and we'll just continue to march on.
36 years as coach of baseball? Is that?
That's what they're telling me.
36.
I started in '89, so 90 was the first season. Yeah,
that's pretty impressive, though.
Yeah, it's fun. So when you get to go to sporting events and that's your part of your work, I mean, that's enjoyable. So
that's the fun time.
Yeah, it is.
I always say, though, it's hard to imagine that somebody starting now year one, a brand new teacher and coach, 36 years. I mean, I don't know if that's as feasible as it used to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I really like it. Everybody enjoys it, so it's a good thing. So thanks.
Good luck at Fenimore tomorrow night, right?
Yep, at Fenimore. Yep.
Good deal. Jason, anything else you wanted to add today?
Yes, I actually wanted to say that I am blessed to have Mr. Thompson as the AD because he is so easy to work with. And I hear some horror stories from other music teachers about, the AD scheduled this game against the concert, and Mr. Thompson is always just about student success. He doesn't care what it is. He wants students to be great at everything they do. So he's always great to work with as far as setting up concert dates and things like that, and trying to keep those open so the kids don't have to make decisions of, am I going to go to the game or am I going to go to the concert? So I've always really appreciated that.
Well, thank you.
Well said. Jeff, anything else you want to add? I know you were at the foundation thing. You really benefited well from the Riverdale Communities Education Foundation.
It just amazes me every year the work that those people put in. Yeah. I mean, I just want to reiterate to the staff that these people are putting in volunteer time at these fundraisers and things, and the least we can do is just, pitch in and help out, or, put a little money into it, because without the 18 years now that they've been doing it, 16 years they've been presenting awards, we wouldn't have the educational experience we have for our kids at Riverdale without that group. It's the amount of money they've put into supplies and things that elevate the experience is second to none, and we're very fortunate to have that group, and they're a hard-working group that are dedicated to Riverdale, and it's all their own time and effort that they're putting in. So very much thankful to them.
Well said. I put in, I think 4 or 5 games this year at Riverdale where they had the concessions. Man, I benefit when they're there.
Yeah, you sure do, don't you?
Scotcheroos. And
they do a great job on that. Yeah, one of the best concession stands.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for coming in. We'll see you after graduation now.
Yeah, that works. I'll see you this summer. So.
All right. Look forward to it. Jeff Campbell joining us here from Riverdale Schools, Jason Troxel and Kurt Thompson on today's morning show.